We're here with Scott Milan, the owner of Scott's Fort Collins Auto Repair in Fort Collins, and let's talk about specific things about the car. Maintenance is so important. You stay ahead of the game with your car. I'm not saying you're going to be trouble-free, but you're going to drastically reduce the number of issues that you have. But there are some parts of the car, should they fail, for example, timing belt and water pump service. We've got one of these from your shop, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Let's talk about the timing belt and the water pump service, and if you can describe a little bit what the timing belt is and how important this service is to the car.
The timing belt service is really important, and I think in today's world, people just, the maintenance has kind of gone away. You know, they wait till something drastic happens where their belt does break, and a lot of times on a lot of engines, the clearance between the piston and the valve, when the belt breaks, they collide and it bends valves, and it's a very expensive fix. You know, it's a new engine or rebuilding the top end of the engine versus just putting in the new timing belt or water pump.
How many miles, I mean, I'm sure it varies for each make and model, but roughly how many miles on my car should I be worrying about that?
About 100,000.
Yeah. And you could tell by looking at it whether or not it needs repair. You said earlier there's some have chains, others have belts. You get more mileage out of the belt, I would assume.
Out of a chain.
Out of a chain, I'm sorry.
Yeah, over time and the weather conditions and things, you know, a belt gets dry rotted and they start cracking, and you know, you just don't really know a date and time when it is going to break. You know, I mean, it could break tomorrow or it could break in 6 months from now at 100,000 miles.
Yeah, because those things don't break when they're sitting still.
No.
You know, it's not like they're going to fall off.
Right.
That car is going to be running when that belt snaps. Correct. And you've got problems.
Yeah.
Now, the water pump, how does that work? And are they both together?
They go together. A lot of the newer vehicles, the timing belt runs on a pulley that's hooked to the water pump as well. So, I mean, you can change just your belt, but we recommend you do the timing belt and water pump at the same time, and so a few tensioners and pulleys, because if you don't and you just do just the belt, you run the chance of the bearing going bad in the water pump, and that'll cause the belt, you know, to lock up as well. And you know, so you want to just change all of those at the same time and save yourself the labor cost too.
I think what's most frustrating about this service right here is that the belt itself probably cost what, $10?
Probably, yeah, between $20 and $35 just for a belt.
But we know the service for this is well above that.
Correct.
Tell us why.
It's basically labor, and you have to pull the whole side of the engine apart. You know, you have to pull your accessory belts off your alternator belt, your power steering belt, your air conditioning belt, and then you have to pull the covers off of the engine to get access to the timing belt. And then if you're going to replace the water pump, you have to drain the coolant out of the vehicle, you know, put it all back together. You know, a lot of times they're, you know, anywhere from 4 to 8 hour jobs.
And they can roughly cost someone how much, roughly?
Roughly anywhere from $500 to $1,200.
That is, wow. I tell you what, folks, on this website, be looking for this. It's an opportunity to get timing belt and water pump service from Scott's Fort Collins Auto. Look for it, click it, make sure you register it, and you can have a chance at winning this free prize from Scott's Fort Collins Auto Repair.